Okay, today is February 28th, 2019, Thursday. And we're going to discuss today if it were up to me. Not me, you, but if it were up to me. And so when I started my newsletter, I thought this is a topic that really needs addressing. How many times have you heard, or how recently have you heard, someone say, well, if it were up to me, I would do this, that, or the other. If it were up to me, I would change things at the company. If it were up to, give me a break. It is up to you. Duh. It is up to you. How you perform at your company is up to you. How you take care of your family is up to you. How you handle your finances is up to you. It's not up to anybody else. It's up to you. Whether or not you are taking care of things is a whole different matter. Everybody wants to put the responsibility somewhere else. If it were up to me, we'd have a better life. If it were up to me, we'd have a better home. If it were up to... Yeah, right. You won't take the actions necessary to accomplish those things. If it were up to you, you'd lose 50 pounds instead of coming home every night drinking 2 6-packs of beer and going around with a beer belly. Oh, did I go to meddling again? Yes, I did. Did you know that there's more men overweight than there are women? Oh, yes, there are. Why is that? Well, I could say, well, that's just the way it is. No. It's because men usually have hard work, or they work outside, or they've got all this energy and they need a lot of calories that they get from carbs. And that's the way they've operated the majority of their life. But let me tell you, when you're about 35, 38, 40 years old, man, you need to get rid of those carbs. I used to eat over 7,000 calories a day. Yes, I did. I had a dietitian at the doctor's office years ago, asked me, well, now, Mr. Booth, we need to go on a diet. And I went, go on a diet? I was a bit overweight. I was a lot overweight. Anyway, and I said, she says, we're going to put you on a 1,250 calorie a day diet. Well, I laughed in her face. You're crazy. I'm not going on a 1,250 calorie a day diet. I would starve to death. I ate more than that in one meal. She said, now, Mr. Booth, that's a lot of calories. I said, no, I eat over 7,000 to 8,000 calories a day. And she's a little lady. She might have been 4'6". She goes, oh, Mr. Booth, nobody eats that many calories. And I went, I do. She said, you don't know what a calorie is? I said, you do realize I work in a hospital, right? I know exactly what a calorie is. So I started with breakfast, my mid-morning snack. I went to lunch, my afternoon snack. When I got home from work every day, I would make myself 3 milkshakes in the blender. And right there she just said, oh, yes, I believe you, I believe you. I knew what I was eating. Man, I wasn't big as a house, but I was overweight. So she stopped for a minute, caught her breath, and she got out another piece of paper. She said, this piece of paper is 2,800 calories a day, or 2,850 calories a day. This is what we usually give people to gain weight. I said, oh no. It's a third of what I'm eating just about. So anyway, she says, well, I want you to try it. Well, I did. I lasted almost 2 weeks, I believe. I think I did. I almost lasted 2 weeks, and I was starving to death. Man, I'm telling you, I was starving. So I had to modify the types of calories I was taking in because, man, I was I was eating the calories. I was like 40 years old, still eating like I was 18. But anyway, so I finally started. I used to eat, you know, many of you that watch this are probably too young to remember this. Half a gallon of ice cream used to really be a half a gallon. They're not now, but they used to be. 64 ounces of ice cream. Every night, you can ask my kids, every night I ate a half a gallon of Breyers ice cream. If you don't know what Breyers is, look it up on the internet. I ate a half a gallon of Breyers premium ice cream every night, 7 days a week. Sometimes at lunch, if I happened to be home for lunch, I'd go through a quart, half, you know, a little over half a gallon, maybe a quart of ice cream. So when every Friday or Saturday when we went to the store, we'd get 7 half a gallons of ice cream from me. A half a gallon of ice cream for each of the kids. We had 4 kids. And once a month, I'd get a half a gallon for my wife. That's because, you know, a whole month, she barely did get through it. And I got a little tiny wife, so she doesn't eat nothing. But anyway, so the kids, they'd go through a half a gallon in a week. I went through a half a gallon nightly. I remember going to my doctor, and he said, and he was wanting to know what I ate, and I was going through the same thing I did with the dietitian. And when I got to the half a gallon a night, he said, "No, you mean a pint." My wife's sitting there. She said, "No, he means a half a gallon." He's a young doctor. You should have seen his face. He like to fell down on the floor. He said, "You can't do that." I said, "Yes, I can. Do it every night." But anyway, for those of you that don't like ice cream, you won't get this. The rest of us, you'll get it. Man, the Rocky Roads or French vanilla or anything, whatever it was, Neapolitan, I ate it. Love ice cream. Always ate ice cream. Anyway, I cut my ice cream down to a half a gallon a week. That was a major accomplishment for me. I'm not kidding in the least. I also stopped fixing 3 milkshakes every day after work. Amazingly enough, I continued to eat other things that I wanted. And a friend of mine at church said, "I have these pills you were talking about, energy, and I'm a representative for a natural herb company, and these will give you energy." I said, "Okay, order me a bottle." Now you got to remember this was like 1996, and he said, "Don't you want to know the cost?" I said, "No, you say they work. Order me a bottle." He said, "They're $40 a bottle." I said, "I don't care. Order them. $40 and it's going to give me energy? Man, order me 2 or 3 bottles." But anyway, he ordered them, and then the next Sunday he had them, and he said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, there is a side effect." And I went, "Oh boy, here it comes. What's the side effect?" He said, "You take these one a day, and in about 90 days, on the 91st day, you'll begin to lose weight." And I said, "That's the side effect?" Oh man, why don't I take 2 a day? No kidding, I couldn't take 2 a day. I couldn't even take a whole one a day. They increased my energy, but they also increased, I guess, my metabolism. Anyway, whatever it was. If I took a whole one, I got really jittery, so I took a half one. And in 91 days, I started losing weight. In 9 months, eating like I normally eat, except for the change in ice cream, I lost 45 pounds. Yes, I did. That was 1996. This is 2019. I have kept all of that weight off for all of these years, thanks to, in part, that herb, which they still sell, and modifying my eating habits. Some people will say, "Oh, you know, don't eat this and don't eat that." Well, you know, everybody's body is different, and you have to go with your body. If you're overweight, you need to make changes. If you're underweight, I don't believe anybody can be underweight. I don't know. I've seen some thin people that had more energy than I ever dreamed of. If they got all that energy, that's why they're thin. They're full of energy. Doctors say, oh, you should weigh a certain way, and women should do this because bone mass loss and blood. Who is your doctor? Look into calcium supplements and bone growth supplements. That I know one of the companies that I deal with has bone growth, so I take calcium that my doctor said I needed, and bone growth, and those two together keep my bone density at a very good level. So, you know, don't listen to just anybody or anything and research stuff. When I say stuff, feel free to research it. Look on the internet. I don't much recommend talking to your doctor because most doctors, in my opinion, have little to no sense at all because they've been trained a certain way and they can't see that natural means is the best way to go. I don't understand that. I fortunately had a doctor that I went to church with, and he had studied herbs, vitamins, minerals, natural remedies at his medical school. It was an optional course, and he said, you know what, I'm taking that course. So when I talked to him about these supplements I were taking, he knew what they did, he knew how effective they were, and he knew the research on them. Smart kid. Well, he was a kid, he's way younger than me. So if you have a doctor that you trust, I don't mean one of these stupid doctors that says, oh, you need to take all these medicines. That's a load of stuff. Anyway, get a doctor that actually has some common sense, that they've studied herbs and vitamins and minerals, and they know how to work that into your regimen to work with medicines that you may perhaps need so that you get the most efficacious mix of the two. Boy, man, I really got sidetracked today, and if it were up to me, well, if it were up to me to have better health, and it is, I have taken steps to do that, to make myself and eat right. Eating right does not mean going by some formula and eating certain things and all of that. It means eating right for you. I like steak, but I have discovered, if you can find a place that does it, that salmon really, really hits a spot for me. Now, some of y'all are going to laugh, but a 5-ounce salmon with a baked potato and a Caesar salad fills me up. I mean, I'm stuffed, and I'm 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. So, I don't know what your size is. Maybe you like to eat a lot, but anyway. Also, the salmon, when I eat salmon, I really, really have clearer thinking, and I really feel good. I mean, my overall demeanor, I feel really good. And I like steak, but I don't get that same feeling with steak. I don't know why, but I'm just telling you. Find things that work for you. Find not comfort foods, find good foods that work with your metabolism, that help you have clear thinking. You feel good in your body. When you go to bed at night, you rest. And you're not up, tossing and turning and getting up and maybe going to the bathroom or going downstairs to get a snack, or rest. Enjoy yourself. One thing that will help these midnight cravings, I have found, is a tall glass of water or a glass of tea. I don't know what works for me. Find what works for you. Check out our website, www.astepabove.life. order some of our gourmet coffees. I know the price is getting ready to change on that. Got a good deal on them right now. Anybody that locks in at the price that's on the website now gets to keep that price for as long as it is financially possible for me to keep it there. Also, check out our essential oils, logo soaps. They're very, very safe. For people with sensitive skin, you will love them. A friend of ours is a pastor, and his wife has very sensitive skin, and I gave her some of these, and she said, "Oh, I have sensitive skin." I said, "You can use these. Test them, but you can use them." And I gave her 3 soaps, I think. And she came back a week or so later, and she said, "Oh, these things are so wonderful. I can put them on my skin, and my skin feels so soft and hydrated, you know, all that stuff now." And she says, "It's amazing. I hadn't never been able to use a lot of different soaps. I've had to go out and get these really expensive special soaps." And I said, "You can use this because it's all natural. It's all essential oils." Also, my new book that's going to be coming out, I hope, if I can find a literary agent, if you know one, please contact me, because I've got one book finished and another book probably about half done. One of them is a fictional book that takes place in the 1940s. The other is a success book built on helping you become a better you. So remember, in everything you do today, do it a step above what you did yesterday.